The Communication Minister, though, Paul Fletcher, joins me now. Minister, thank you so much for your time. In a nutshell, how do Sunday's promises help parents keep their kids safe?
Well, Erin, great to be with you, and thanks for all of your advocacy on this very important issue. We committed a number of measures on Sunday, building on our tough new Online Safety Act, which passed the Parliament last year and has already started to take effect, giving new powers to our very important eSafety Commissioner, Inman Grant, who's doing such a great job. On Sunday, we committed $23 million to help schools have better access to the resources and the capabilities of eSafety, so that if a child is subject to harassment or bullying online and they or their family turns to the school for help, the school in turn knows what eSafety can do, including the capacity to require the platforms to take down content which is determined to be online abuse or bullying of an Australian child within 24 hours of receiving a notice from the eSafety Commissioner. We also provided $10 million to the eSafety Commissioner for a Tell Us Once service, because what we found from the parliamentary inquiry recently reported, Lucy Wicks, member for Robertson, done a great job chairing that. And one of the things that people have identified is that when you go to complain about one of these incidents, you often have to tell your story several times, which is very traumatic. So eSafety will have new funding so that they can hear once from an Australian citizen or a complainant about an issue they've had, and that will get shared across all relevant parts of government.
How was it received when you guys first started, I guess, toughening up to the big tech companies, because no one else is really doing it? Did they tell you to sod off initially?
We first started this in 2013. We came to government in 2013 with a promise to establish what was then called the Children's eSafety Commissioner, and a promise to establish legislative powers so that the eSafety Commissioner could identify that material was cyberbullying directed at an Australian child and require that it be taken down if it met the legislative criteria. Facebook, Twitter, they all said, oh, not needed, and indeed, be careful here, Australian government, or Australia will end up as a tech backwater. We weren't deterred. We legislated those powers. They were established from 2015. We've subsequently broadened the responsibilities of this office. Now the eSafety Commissioner, we've given the eSafety Commissioner new powers to deal with the unauthorised sharing of intimate images, which is extremely traumatic for anybody who's the victim of it. Overwhelmingly, it's women and girls. And again, the eSafety Commissioner has the power to direct that the material be taken down. New powers to deal with abhorrent, violent material were added. And then last year, when the Online Safety Act passed the Parliament, a new scheme to deal with the serious cyber abuse of Australian adults. Now, at each stage, the tech companies have said, oh, look, it's not necessary, it's over-regulation. But we know Australians are very concerned about this. They're concerned about what it means for their kids, what it means for themselves. And this whole issue of civility online and the extraordinary abuse that people can be subject to is a very serious one. And our principle is very clear, and the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has been an absolute champion of this, including on the international stage. The rule of law has to apply online as well as offline, and we're determined to require that of the tech platforms if they are serving Australians on their platforms.
Just quickly, Minister, Mike Baird, former New South Wales Premier, said you're a future PM this week. Do you agree with those comments? You got your eye on the main prize?
Look, that was a very generous assessment. Mike's entitled to his opinion. And look, it was really good of him to come and launch my campaign for Bradfield. My sixth campaign to be elected as the member for Bradfield. We had a whole group of energised local Liberals and community members. It was a great event. I really thank Mike for being there. That assessment is a matter for him. I'll stay focused on what I'm doing, which is seeking once again to have the privilege and honour of representing the people of Bradfield, and of course my work as a minister, and of course fighting with the rest of the Liberal National team to once again be given the honour and privilege of forming government. We're working hard to do that. We've got a plan for a strong economy and a stronger future, and we're out there fighting every day to achieve that.
Well, you dodged the question superbly and managed to get a message in, so you're well qualified for the position. Minister, thank you so much.